The public education system does not teach you personal finance. It does not teach you how to invest. It does not teach you how to purchase a car or a home. It has a lot of flaws. Today, we're going to be talking about the difference between a entrepreneur business mindset compared to a straight A academic mindset. Let's jump into it. Before we get into it, I'm gonna put on the shades. If you're watching this in the morning, pour yourself a coffee. If you're watching this in the evening, get yourself a nice drink. A lot of you guys already briefly know my story. If you've been following my channel, you kind of have a good idea of where my background comes from, where I started off in my journey here in the United States. My parents are Mexican American. I'm a first generation college student. I'm probably like one out of 3 or 4 of my cousins that actually went to college and finished graduating from university. The mentality that I had when I was growing up was completely different because my parents, when they got to this country, they always wanted to play it safe. So they never wanted to take like huge risks. They wanted us to make sure that we were getting good grades in school. I graduated from my high school 16 out of like 737 students. So I was competitive, man. I was in all AP classes. I had a couple of dual credit classes where I was taking classes at the local community college that was down the street. So here we have a couple of medals that my brothers and I accumulated over the years. A lot of these medals are my brothers, so I can't take full credit for them. A lot of these medals were history fair competitions. I was always in academic clubs, I was competing, I was doing these type of events. When I got to college, I started to question a lot of things. I got involved in the entrepreneurship program that was at my university. I went to University of Houston. I met a lot of great people there, started networking, and the next thing you know, I joined the program. That's when I got my induction into the Wolf Center for Entrepreneurship. I got this patch. Way before I got into the program, I always knew that I wanted to start a company or I wanted to work on entrepreneurial ventures. I wanted to do freelancing, or I wanted to do web development, or I wanted to do copywriting. And I started thinking about these things a lot before I got into the program. One thing that I've realized in these last couple of years is that having a strict academic background compared to trying to start a company or trying to start a business is completely different. The mindset is just completely different. When I was in high school, when I was in middle school, I was trying to go for good grades because I was trying to play it safe. I was trying to, one, please my parents because they wanted us to do well in school. And also I wasn't trying to take any risks. And one thing I noticed about the public education system, it doesn't promote failure. It doesn't want you to fail. What makes that counterintuitive is that when you're trying to start a company or in life in general, there's gonna be times that you're gonna fail. There's gonna be times that you're gonna fall on your face. You have to get up, dust yourself off, and you have to figure out what happened, what were the mistakes, and improve them and then go forward. The issue that I had with public education is that it did not teach you how to fail correctly. It didn't teach you that in life there is going to be inevitable moments that you're going to fail. You're gonna be forced to overcome certain obstacles, and I think that applies tremendously in business. Let's start with the pros of the public education system. So I can't sit here and tell you that everything that I learned in middle school and in high school was a waste of time, because it wasn't. It really wasn't. I learned a lot of great skills from my education. And some of the biggest skills that I learned from public education was that I learned how to read and write effectively. I had some of the best teachers when I was taking AP classes. I was taking GT classes, which were gifted and talented classes in middle school and intermediate school. And those teachers molded me, taught me how to write the correct way. I believe that communication is crucial. And also, if your writing is nice and legible and you know how to communicate your ideas, I think that's very effective in the world of business. Also, I think that the public education system does do a good job of teaching you problem solving skills, especially in mathematics. I took AP Pre-Cal, I took AP Physics. Even though a lot of that content of mathematics I don't use to this day, it really did teach me how to problem solve. So now I do a lot of coding, I do a lot of development, I work with IT professionals. And I think in anything in life, if you want to be successful, You have to solve problems and you have to bring value to the market. So now, jumping into the cons of public education is that they don't teach you personal finance. They do not teach you how to invest. They do not teach you how to buy a home. They don't teach you how to buy a vehicle. They don't teach you a lot of essential life skills that are necessary to be successful. And that's my biggest gripe about public education, is that to some extent they want to keep you ignorant so you can feed into this matrix of becoming a debt consumer. They teach you just enough to be okay. They don't teach you enough to be greater. It is what it is. At a certain point, I decided to stop being a victim and have more of a victor mentality and look at things how they are. At some point, you have to be a realist and just see things how they are. If I was a board of director for the public education here in Texas, I would ensure that we had a personal finance class, also an investment class, knowing how the stock market works, the S&P 500, knowing how the NASDAQ works, understanding cryptocurrencies, also the real estate market. I will make these classes available for the students. So in case one day they wanted to follow a entrepreneurial venture into one of these sectors, they know what they're talking about. They're actually prepared to combat that industry once they graduate from high school. I would have taught more physical education, understanding macros, understanding diets, the principles of strength training. I would have focused on things that are going to make you healthy, wealthy, and more successful. I believe that these are the key subjects that public education should be focusing on, as opposed to knowing random information, general information that doesn't suit anyone. I've never got to use sine, cosine, or tangent anymore. In the real world, I've never used it. We spend three to 6 months learning this content, and then we don't even use it in real life. So it's a waste of time. If we want to get to the real meat and potatoes of the things that are going to get us paid, the lucrative industries, we need to talk about personal finance, and we need to talk about investing, real estate. We need to talk about how to accumulate assets, and the public education system currently does not do that. And if I was the superintendent, that would be something that I would change. That's where I graduated from, U of H, got my cap and gown somewhere in my closet, and then I went to the Center for Entrepreneurship, where I got this emblem. And my education there was great. I took a little longer than I wanted to. I was there for 5.5 years. The biggest reason why is because I was taking some very difficult IT classes when I was studying MIS. I was doing Java, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and those classes were very difficult. Same thing applies there. Like this, the mindset was get good grades, finish, land a good job, and you'll be successful. As I'm gathering more experience, I'm starting to realize that there's other opportunities as opposed to just following a strict academic route. You know, you can always start your own business. You can build websites. You can work in copywriting. You can do freelancing. There's so many different avenues where you can be successful following your own path. In entrepreneurship, starting your own company, there's more pressure. There's more accountability. There's more, it falls more on you, and you really have to be sharp. And the academic routes, depending on where you work, if you get really good grades and you land a good high-paying job, the company just takes care of you. You know, they'll take care of you. There's more stability. There's more security, but there's not like that exponential growth. There's going to be at a certain point that there's a cap on what your mentality is, what your mindset is for being successful and going to school. If you want to follow a business entrepreneurial path, or if you want to go through the academic path, or you could do both. You could start off going through an academic path, you land a high-paying job coming out of college, and you start investing into your business. A couple of great books that talk about this is Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Also, a book from the same author, which is called The Cash Flow Quadrant. My camera cut out at the end of that outro. I'm going to finish up editing the video so I can publish it. But if you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit that like button. Also hit that subscribe button. I'll catch all of you in the next video. Stay strong and keep on conquering. Peace.